Hi, this is Catherine. This is Taking Tea with Catherine. This is Harney and Sons, Jane's Garden green tea with flowers, etc. I'm using, I think, the last of it, which makes me regret the fact that I was very close to a Harney and Sons shop recently and didn't go in. But okay, I chose this particular tea because I like to make corny connections, and Jane's Garden just reminded me a little bit of Miss Marple because wasn't her first name Jane? Am I not? Am I incorrect with that? Now I'm doubting myself. But let's just say her name is Jane Marple. And she had a garden. And I'm using this mug because I just thought it was a pretty one. But it has a little chip on it, which is kind of annoying me now. But nevertheless, I've been trying to get back to drinking green tea, and so this was a good motivation. And of course, the tie-in making some kind of mystery reference is because I have decided to participate in March Mystery Madness for March of 2023. Last year I might have read some mysteries during the month, but I was a little burnt out when it came to making TBRs. I had been doing some very ambitious ones and I wasn't quite reaching my potential and I was just getting frustrated. And this year I thought, I'm going to do what is nowadays called the pile of possibilities. I'm going to try to, I think, let's see, 5 books here that I'm going to keep in this pile, which doesn't mean that I can't, if I suddenly decide to read another book in the mystery genre, doesn't mean I can't switch it out. But I just thought these were the ones that looked about right for me. And if I can read all of them, that would be amazing. If I could read 2 of them, I will feel like I've accomplished something. I know usually it's just reading one mystery novel, but I've been doing a little better at reading mysteries lately. So I kind of want to, broaden it out a little bit because I am by nature someone who reads a lot of mystery novels, but I've been a little off in that respect for over a year now. And I'm not regretting that because my thinking is, well, first of all, this is not a primarily mystery channel. It's one of the things I talk about, but it's not the only thing. So that's okay. But also that sometimes things that I really love, like I really enjoy, I just won't be into for close to a year or a few months at a time. And then maybe I'll either come back to it again and be full into it, or it'll just be a casual thing. And that's fine. So I'm going to show you these books and explain, well, maybe not explain too much of why I chose these ones, but they're not really tied into this event. This reading, initiative has a multitude of hosts and who are very much into reading mysteries, which is great. They've chosen some wonderful prompts, and I just thought for myself I need to just stay off prompts for now. I'll pick them up probably in whatever next month I participate in anything, or maybe not, but at least for Jane Austen July. But we're not talking about that right now. And so I thought I'd show you. Have a sip of tea first. And it's still very nice. I'm going to show you these books. And one of them is a new book, which I wasn't going to incorporate because I thought, I haven't showed you. I'm going to have a haul coming up. Yes, I finally broke my book buying hiatus. But that's okay because I had planned to. So one of these is a new book, well, new to me book, and a newly purchased book. And the rest are books I've had for at least some time. And well, let's get into it. I think what's not killing me, but I think these are all British. And I felt like, wow, I'm really staying in one box right now. But you know what? Again, when you like what you like it. And the first one is a book that I actually found there's about 2 of them here that I found in a bookseller, which is a bookshop, so a used bookshop connected to a library in the Upper East Side of Manhattan in New York. It's all run by volunteers and it's all donation based and cash only, which is fine because the prices are really reasonable and you might just have the cash on you. And I'd seen this book, and I know it's not the first in a series, and sometimes some people are very purist about, I must start at the beginning and go there. And ideally, I'd like to do the same, but I'm finding lately that plunged into series by accident in the wrong order, and aside from ones that really rely on, you know, following things for spoilery reasons, most of the time it's okay. And this is a very short book, so I thought at least this is a low pressure one. It's without looking at the ending. Don't look at the ending. It is 148 pages. So that's like a novella. And this is a Hamish Macbeth mystery, Death of a Snob by M.C. Beaton. Now, lately, a couple of people I've talked to were not as into this particular writer for whatever reasons. She's written a number of other series, and I have a couple of other books of hers, but I figured I haven't really discovered for myself whether this is a writer I can get interested or not. I have a friend who really likes the Hamish Macbeth's, I think, adaptations. So I thought, well, let's try this short one and see if it's short and sweet. So it says, with a cold in his head and no place to go for the holidays, Hamish snaps up the invitation of gorgeous Jane Weatherby. See, another Jane. We're keeping on some sort of theme here with a T. Jane Weatherby to spend Christmas at her Scottish island health farm and determine whether someone really is trying to kill her. In his heart, Hamish believes the lady is a wee bit daft. I'm not doing a Scottish accent for anything. But arriving on lonely Eileen Craig, I hope I'm saying that right, he feels a prickle of foreboding. The locals are openly threatening, and the other guests, especially a terrible snob named Heather Todd, are barely civil. So when Heather meets an untimely end, death of the snob, Hamish feels he hasn't far to look for her killer. There's just one problem. All the guests were in the house when Heather vanished. Not even the weirdly mysterious mumbo-jumbo that abounds on Eileen Craig can account for that mystery. So, that could be fun, or it could be awful. I'm going to find out, hopefully. And of course, what March Mystery Madness or any mystery theme month would be complete without an Agatha Christie? Yes, I know I have not included in here a Sherlock Holmes, which is to my great shame, but not really, because I did read a Sherlock Holmes not too long ago. But, and I don't have the hat today, but that's okay, because again, no Sherlock Holmes. I don't know what this grip is, but anyway, this is, I think, I'm losing track of where I got all of these books if they don't have any markings in them. But because they don't have any markings, it's possible that I got this particular one from a little free library. There's a couple of them I found that way. This might be the one I found in a park when I was with my sister. So that would make it yet another one that I found when I was with my sister, a book. That's great. But anyway, this was one that I've seen the adaptation for with David Suchet, of course. But it's a Hercule Poirot mystery called 1-2 Buckle My Shoe. There's a dentist chair in here. I know there's a description of Poirot getting treatment at a dentist. I know I have to make an appointment myself soon. I think I know who did it, but I'm not going to say it now. This one says, what reason would an amiable dentist like Dr. Morley have for committing suicide? He didn't have emotional difficulties, money problems, or love trouble. What he did have was an appointment with Hercule Poirot, who's not buying the suicide bit. Now the brilliant sleuth has taken it upon himself to drill the good doctor's patients, partners, and friends. All he's come up with is a numbing fear, oh no, this is painful, that Dr. Morley wasn't an unlikely victim at all, nor the first. Novocaine. Anyway, so let's see. Okay, now the next one is a book that I bought not too long ago. It's one of the newest ones, not the newest I don't think, but one of the newest releases from the British Library Crime Classics. Said it. And I just had this longer than I expected without reading it, but that makes sense because I have a lot of books that I've had way too long without reading. So this is just part of my personality now. But it's a bookish one. I've also heard mixed reviews about this one. Some people said it wasn't as good as one would think. So I'm kind of like trepidation. But I'm not going to worry too much. I'm going to give it a shot, hopefully. And it is this lovely cover. It's by Bernard J. Farmer, Death of a Bookseller. I think I've already read the premise on a haul video. And I'm actually not going to read it to you now because the lighting is yeah, it's making it kind of difficult for me to read this one right now. So if I read it, then you'll know. But I do see something that says Keats and Endymion, which makes me excited just because. So if I read it and I wrap it up, then you'll know what this is about. And if not, whatever. It's so sad, isn't it? Like, I mean, I used to be able to read very well in light like this. The lighting is really not bad, but lately I've had, I don't want to depress you guys, but lately I've had struggles reading like slightly darkish lettering than I used to have. I could read perfectly well in light, regular pages like this. I could read just fine. But things like that, like labels, sometimes I'm in my kitchen, which my kitchen light's not that great. But lately, sometimes it's just not as easy. I'm attributing it to age because otherwise my vision is just as it has always been, blurry without glasses. But yay, age. Anyway, enough of my complaints. Let's talk about the next book, which I seem to have purchased that book off for $7.50, which is actually more than I usually pay for a paperback, mystery novel. But I guess I was really in the mood to have a Lord Peter Wimsey mystery. So this is Dorothy L. Sayers' Murder Must Advertise. And apparently in this one, Lord Peter Wimsey goes undercover in an advertising agency. That sounds kind of cool. I've always thought it'd be fun to work in advertising, but I also have seen shows about that, and it isn't always pleasant. So instead I can read about it, and it's been a while, honestly, since I've read a Dorothy Sayers. When is the last time? Has it been since last March? Hope not. But either way, it should be time at this point. So I hope I can read that one. Now, last but not least, is a book that I took out of the library long enough ago. I think it was pre-pandemic, wherein it was still under the restrictions, which have been lifted in the New York libraries, wherein if you do not return a book on time and you cannot renew it because someone else has it on hold or whatever other reasons, you'll be fined 25 cents a day. And that's not always fun, especially because if it's over a week, it adds up, But this book was still new, pretty new, I think, when it came out around that time. I'm just going to quickly check to see what the copyright says here. Sorry. All this page turning, although this is, okay, yes, copyright 2020. So it must have been right before the pandemic closures and everything. So I had taken it out of the library because I thought it would be a really good book. I heard so many good things about it. I heard it's funny. And then I realized I wasn't going to finish it in time and I couldn't renew it. So I ended up bringing it back. And I said to myself, one day I'll just take it out of the library. And then it never happened. Sometimes you just put things off and you forget. And then I know there's been more books in the series because it's become a series. And I've just mostly heard good things about this writer and these books. And I felt, okay, I'm missing out. But again, I have a lot of books to read. So, and I'll talk more about my book purchases of my recent sister's visit, the recent visit of my sister. But just to say, we weren't able to make a video together, so sorry about that. Don't expect it, please. But we had a wonderful time, and we were going to the bookseller, the aforementioned bookseller. But before we went there, we stopped into Shakespeare and Company, which there are two right now locations in New York. They're not related to the one in Paris, but still a great name. And we just stopped in there briefly to just look at some books. And my sister showed me, well, I don't know if she showed me or we just both looked at that book and, both had heard that it was a good book. And I was like, yeah, man, if I could just get a hold of that, it would be nice, but I wasn't going to buy it, of course. I wasn't going to buy full price in that bookshop because according to this one, it's $17. So then when I was in bookseller and I was looking and I was picking up books and I was, I might get this, maybe I'll get this, let me walk around with this, etc. I said to myself, let me pop into the little room that has mysteries and let me just look for this one just in case. And it was there and it was $3. And I thought, well, maybe I could have taken it out of the library, but for $3, I think I'm going to get it. And if it's really good, maybe I will loan it to my sister. But either way, this book is Richard Osman's The Thursday Murder Club. So I think if you've been watching BookTube at all the past couple of years, you've probably seen this. Almost everybody so many times I've seen this featured, and it's usually positive. But I will read the little description in the back, and it says, in a peaceful retirement village, four unlikely friends meet weekly in the jigsaw room to discuss unsolved crimes. Unsolved crimes, semicolon, sorry. Together they call themselves the Thursday Murder Club. When a local developer is found dead with a mysterious photograph left next to the body, the friends suddenly find themselves in the middle of their first live case. They might be senior citizens, but they are cleverer than most. As the bodies begin to pile up, our unorthodox but brilliant gang catch the killer. Can them. Before it's too late. So much for reading out loud. I think it sounds funny. I'm not sure if they've done an adaptation of this yet. I do like the idea. I've been liking the idea, and I think I mentioned this before, of books that focus on senior citizens, the older ones of the universe. You know what I mean? Obviously this is not a new idea. Going back to Miss Marple and even Poirot, these are, people who were not exactly young, and they were main characters in solving mysteries. But I do still think that, the average book of, say, fantasy and many other types of genres of books feature a lot of young people. And there's nothing wrong with that, absolutely nothing wrong with books about teenagers, 20-somethings or 30-somethings. But, life goes on for people at any age until it doesn't. And I like to find books that feature seniors. That's all. And especially a book that might be a really good book. I really hope so. So anyway, I'm rambling now. So I'm just going to tell you something. I'm excited, actually, for March. I am excited. Even though it's going to be a busy month for me. In other ways, I'm excited because I just like the idea right now of, I don't know how the weather's going to be, if it's going to be cold and damp, if it's going to warm up again, but I like the idea of curling up with these mysteries, and some of them are highly totable, so that's also great. Actually, all of them. All of these are totable, really, but nevertheless. That is all for now. Please let me know if you have plans to participate in March Mystery Madness, if you've picked out your books yet. If you have, you can let me know in the comments as well. If you've read in these books, and if you have any suggestions of which ones I should start first, or which ones I should definitely read, or which ones are just absolutely horrific and please don't waste your time. Any of these are fine. That is all for now. Hopefully soon I will be featuring my book haul of doom. And until then, this is Catherine at Taking Tea with Catherine. Have a lovely tea and mystery-filled day.